Last drink of the water here. Oh, what is up, peoples? How y'all doing today? We are gonna be no, we're not gonna be doing anything. Double Toast is going to be on about 15 minutes. We are Double Toast pre-show, hanging out with you guys. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen Double Toast's Twitch stream name change, so they're probably gonna be a little bit late today. But we'll make sure to entertain you as much as we can. Ain't that right, Birdman?
Nope, I don't like any of you.
I mean, but we still gotta entertain them. We cannot like them all we want.
Kidding. I love this chat.
Oh no, you don't.
Except for you.
Dude, I don't even like the
who you
chat.
are.
The chat's mean to me. They always say I'm wrong about comic books and shit. Being dicks to
You
me.
literally go off on them every chance you get about how much you don't like them.
I don't. I say, chat, man, you guys have the best things to say, you bunch of fucking
You
assholes.
literally get ready pre-show going, I'm gonna fight the chat. I'm like, that's my dad.
Damn, your bird's fucking like, oh yeah, fuck up, man, just losing the shit. E-Mike,
Wow, thanks, E-Mike. I'm here also.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's funny, dude? Is like you used to say that back in the day as a joke, but like that really became like your thing.
That wasn't a joke. That was because I never felt like I was part of the crew, and it was like, who the fuck's this guy? I'd be like, hi, I'm here also.
Well, you have always been here. You mean a lot here, okay, man? I'm just letting you know that right now.
Not the E-Mike, apparently.
But E-Mike, what's up, man? How you doing? Marissa saying E-Mike guy's email read finally. Oh, and Double Toasted. Yeah, Corey.
How many bits did he send?
I don't know. The thing is, though, is like I know that Corey likes to read the emails during like the commercial breaks, but the thing is, though, is he's taking so long to even get to his emails on his stupid ass iPhone. I'm sorry, Corey, but you got an iPhone. The thing sucks. But he spends much time doing that. He never gets to the emails on time. And get like 1 or 2, 3 emails read each stream. That's not enough. All right. If I was fucking sending an email, I wanted my shit read. But lots of people.
I mean, yeah, but he probably gets a ton of shit, so it's like that's why I really don't send emails to podcasts because, like, yeah, it'd be cool to have it read, but like, if the chances of it going, you put so much hope, like, is it gonna be this week? Like, I also wait a week. It's like, eh.
Dude, you know what's kind of gross?
Oh God.
So when I was like really into Spill, I used to be nervous just to send Corey an email. I was like, man, I want him to read it, but he's gonna make fun of me. I'm gonna say something stupid. And I don't want to bother him, man. I mean, when is he ever gonna read my email, my special email? I'm just not special enough for Corey Coleman's attention. And look, now I'm talking to him every day, and he bothers me. He bothers me all the time.
Yeah, no, I again, that's how it's always going to be when you're meeting, a podcaster. It's a virtual celebrity. It's like, hey, am I going to sound stupid? Am I going to sound whatever? I'll never forget how I met Corey. I'm never telling that story on air mostly because I don't need him hearing the story going, oh yeah, that's that motherfucker.
Can I tell a story then?
I don't want to.
Once upon a time. No, you know what? Actually, I don't know, because you might actually be. I don't know if you're joking or not. So I'm gonna fucking move on.
Oh, the story. Fuck. There's not many people in the chat. I'll tell it to the few people here, and you guys can remember this. So when I met Corey, it was actually the first time I went to the States, and it was a situation which I thought it'd be kind of cool if I gave him something from Canada that he wouldn't get in the States because we didn't have it in Canada anymore. So I came down with the roll of pennies.
Yeah, which is like, I mean, the Canadian pennies.
No, I thought it was stupid. No. I was like, you know what? Maybe this is a bad idea. I kept it in my back pocket. Maybe bad idea. Buddy was like, no. You said you had a gift for him. Show it to him. I'm like, well, I'm on the spot now, so I have to. So I pull out the roll of pennies and I hand him. Yeah, it was a handful. It was a roll. I literally still have it.
The thing is, but it's still pennies. Like, I mean, like at the end of the day. Like even though
the mentality was that I think at that point it's been a couple years and my country got rid of it, and I thought, oh, it'd be like a cool souvenir. It's like, hey, Canada, we don't have pennies anymore. How cool would this be? It's like, hey, you have something in Canada that literally like a lot of people don't have in their houses anymore. I thought it'd be kind of a cool idea, but then I was like I guess as about to happen, I'm like, well, maybe it's a bad idea. But then my buddy puts me on the spot. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll just and I'm shaking at this point because like I said, I've been listening to this guy for 5+ years. And I'm literally meeting him, so I'm just like here, and I'm trying to explain it, but I'm very, very nervous. I'm like, oh, that went bad. I'm like, you know what? He's gonna forget about it. Yeah. Oh boy, that next day.
Yeah, dude. You know what is funny though? It's like because he made fun of you and shit on the stream. But the thing is though, is like I didn't know. Like that is actually a nice gift because I didn't know you guys were out of pennies or like you guys stopped doing pennies. For one, why? Like, do you guys?
It's just it's the same reason why people think we should get rid of pennies now. It's too expensive to maintain. So we essentially limited them out. We didn't even really raise the taxes or anything. We just rounded everything to the nearest nickel.
Wow, that's kind of honestly, dude, like pennies add up. I think that's a bad idea as a country. Like you shouldn't have done that. You should definitely tell like whoever the equivalent of a president is there and be like, hey, dude, stupid fucking idea. Bring back the pennies. I'm just saying, like, how are homeless people like fucking? I don't know, like. This screws up a lot of stuff for younger people or for poorer people.
I'm actually so surprised I have it.
Oh shit! So that's what he was looking for, guys. He didn't just fall down like Diglett into.
No,
the
I didn't just fall down, but for people that are wondering, is this even gonna show up on fucking camera? I have no idea. But basically, this is basically this it's not the exact one because I don't think where the exact one is, but I do have a bunch of these. But yeah, I handed it to him because I thought it'd be kind of cool as a souvenir. I literally keep these for the exact same reason. Good luck finding a penny in this fucking country. But yeah, he basically kind of used that as a bit to talk shit to me for like a good 10 minutes. And I'm in the studio and I'm like, fuck, I hope no one knows that was me trying to fucking find a way to run the fuck out.
Yeah, but honestly though, like he was just trying to get something out of you though. I think that it was just a funny story because considering 100%. like people that have a lot of value within money or whatever, like its actual value instead of like the sentimental value, there's people that will literally like they'll just be like, man, a penny is a penny anywhere. It's just that's like the lowest common denominator for fucking financials. Yeah. Like that's terrible. But I did something really funny one time. A friend of mine, I think he might be watching the stream right now because I just talked to him a few minutes ago. A real life friend. I was like 10 years old, and he gave me this very rare like $3 coin. I've never seen those in my life, or even a $2 coin or whatever the fuck. I could be wrong, but he gave it to me, and I was like, God, thanks, man. He's like, yeah, dude, it's really rare, and I found it, and that's for you, dude. So the ice cream man came, and I was, like, really hungry. So I spent it on a Reese's and a soda can. And that's it. Okay. And I feel like that's a fucked up story. I mean, you didn't give me the reaction I wanted, you son of a bitch. But the thing is, like, the reason why that's a crazy story is because he gave it to me for a sentimental value. Like, dude, these are rare, so keep that. That's something that I found for you. And I'm like, yeah, it means so much to me. I'd rather trade it in for a candy and a soda. In front of his face, by the way. Because he even made a face. He was like, oh. Like, I was like, I'm sorry.
You dumb shit. Like, there's no, like, ages. He's like, yeah, sometimes you do dumb stuff. It's like, you know, like, I still kind of regret. Like, I hope, like, I never bring that up in front of him because I'm sure he forgot it was me. Because he never brought that up to me again. Because that's one of the benefits of talking to your I guess some of that you always, like, listen to, like, almost a celebrity, is that he has to meet so many people that unless you do the worst thing possible, you won't stick it to his head. So I just essentially disappeared. So I met him like the next, and a couple years later, literally was at his house, the place like that, didn't even fucking recognize me. That's the benefit of fucking him having so many fans is you could just fucking fade to the background.
Yeah, Julian, that shade, Nick. That's like
it was like greeting someone with a fistful of pennies. That sounds like I punched him in the face with it.
No, that would be cool. What if you had a fistful of pennies and you sock somebody and then let go?
I put it in between here and I punched Corey in the face.
And then Corey falls like Sonic when he gets hit and the rings come out.
And that's why I'll forever be known as Penny Boy.
Oh my god, man. By the way, you're telling people that and you just gave him a nickname to call you, but please, people,
that's
don't.
What he calls me.
He's gonna get mad later on, guys. I'm telling you, do not call him Penny Boy.
Oh,
you fucked up.
No, because people in the chat knew that it was me when he talked about it, but only the people that watched the show at the time because they knew it was me and I was down there and I was Canadian. I was like one of the few Canadians that was down there. So they already knew he was talking about me, but most of the DT had no fucking idea who I was.
Let me see here. Yasuo Fan says I won a $2 sports bet with my grandpa and he sent me a $2 bill in the mail. In the mail? What the fuck, dude? Super sad. I keep it in my wallet as a good luck charm. Oh, that's nice. But man, I would have been mad. Like, you gonna mail me a $2 bill? Like, you better give me that shit in my fucking hand. God damn it! I feel like I was about to go into the Jansen and Bob like, you know, put that money in my hand, little man, or whatever the fuck that stupid part is with Jason Mewes.
You might ask us if you ever saw Drop Zone. I don't fucking know what Drop Zone is. Wait, by the way, in case people...
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Brand, for people in the chat, you all can ask questions about random bullshit. We can even just do it, ask me anything type bullshit right now. It's just E-Mike's the only one really asking, so.
Yeah, like literally anything you guys ask, we'll answer. But I will say, bits always come first, though. So I see a bing, and I see them bits come up because that's what that was. That's not just random noise I just made. I will definitely go and read that first. So just so you guys know, keep that in mind. Here's the thing, though. I'm looking over here. Drop Zone, somebody was asking about. Oh, yeah, E-Mike, you just said. Yeah, duh. I never seen this, but the idea of a Gary Busey and Wesley Snipes at odds in a movie, that sounds like a good fucking time, dude.
That seems like such a weird like matchup.
Yeah, like a weird combination. Like, why the fuck would these two? Imagine just like the segments of acting too. Like, just wait, say, hey, what you doing? I'm doing what I want. I can't do his voice. But that's my best Gary Busey. Can you do Gary Busey?
I don't know. I can't.
Just try. Oh,
what do you just try? What the fuck does that mean?
You try, bro. Just try to do it.
I don't even know what he sounds like.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't think I can remember.
Well, in that case, I sound exactly like him, by the way.
No, you don't. I've known your accents. Your accents are fucking terrible.
Gary Busey.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I don't know.
You know you fucking.
I'm gonna assume that's wrong.
But yeah, dude, no, I wanna see this movie. Is this bad enough, you Mike, that Corey can review it or something? Is it like one of those shitty movies? Because I don't know. They did Demolition Man, and I gotta tell you, dude, I don't think Demolition Man is that bad. The one with Sylvester Stallone and they eat a rat burger.
I can't tell if people like that movie or hated it because people talk about that shit all the time, but I can't tell if they actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, like another one, Stone Cold. You know that one with that crazy ass grocery store fight scene in the beginning? Like that shit was actually kind of like.
The one with oh god, the dude from 2012. The fuck was his name?
Wait, no. Like this.
No, you said there's a shootout at a grocery store, right?
Yeah, but like I don't think this guy over here was in 2012. Have you seen this dude?
Oh no. I'm thinking. Oh god, it's killing me right now. He always has a name that's like it's killing me right now. But it's like what the main lead of 2012. He has a shootout in a grocery store at some point. So I'm like, oh, maybe that's the guy.
Yeah, no. You know what's unfortunate too that this is a movie called Stone Cold, but yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin does shit like this. Like I would have liked Stone Cold Steve Austin to do the remake of Stone Cold. That would have been cool. Just him walking around. I'm gonna go to the grocery store and I'm gonna beat Booker T's ass again. Just walking around. And yes, that's a good impersonation, Alan. I did that voice fucking perfectly.
Fucking just to ignore your ass. Briper just asked if any of you ever tried to fix Xbox 360 Red Ring of Death. I'm assuming that's what he's talking about. Yes, actually, I have multiple stories with that. One time I had a Red Ring of Death with my 360, and I knew it was an overheating problem, so I put it in the freezer.
You know you did not.
I did, for like a day.
Why?
Because Red Ring of Death is a result of overheating, so I figured if I put it in the freezer, it would stop the overheating, and it worked.
Wait, it worked?
It worked. It literally worked for about another month and a half until the system just didn't turn on anymore. And I was like, well, what's going on? So, because you remember people saying the fucking ways to solve that problem were either to replace the X clamps or to the fucking hot towel. Do you remember the towel trick that people were saying to fucking use? We had to wrap up your fucking 360 in a towel and actually overheat it even more because you're gonna melt the soldering and then refix it. It was fucking stupid. I never tried that one. But basically, what happened was I put it in the freezer and it worked because it cooled it down. The problem is 3 months later, it just stopped working because apparently as a result of that, I warped the motherboard so badly that it just fucking refused to work. So I ended up having to get a new 360.
Yeah, just like everybody else, man. That fucking 360 was a piece of shit. And that was one of the first times, 2005, guys.
I cannot believe they won the fucking console cycle with how bad that console was.
That's subjective because they didn't win shit.
No, it's not. They were, for a majority of the console life, the 360 was the platform to play video games on.
I absolutely wholeheartedly disagree because when PS3 came out, it was late 2006, and they had no exclusives for an entire year. And as soon as 2007 ended and 2008 began, they completely wiped the fucking floor with 360.
Nah, they didn't. Because
ass.
No, because, okay, did PS3 always have the exclusives? Yes. But the thing is, it's the install base for the 360 was so large. That's where everyone played Call of Duty. That's where everyone played a majority of the games. Every cross-platform game was majority played on the 360 because the PS4 version, in some cases, ran significantly worse. In GTA 4 specifically, ran significantly worse. And yes, they had those exclusives. Those exclusives were better than any exclusives on the fucking 360. However, if you weren't playing an exclusive, you were playing a cross-platform game, and most people played on 360. The PS3
did, but then you get GTA 4, and yet that had like 2 discs, and for some reason couldn't do certain things, like with the helicopter, you couldn't play your own music, while PS3 could. And
but it ran significantly worse. It like you see that in a lot of reviews. It ran significantly worse because of the fact that the PS3 architecture was so confusing to developers that they had problems optimizing it for that system. There was a problem for it.
Sorry, I was just saying, hi, Gypsy Danger. How you doing, sir? Anytime, even if you say anything, I notice you, just to let you guys know. Because we're going to go on a rant right now. When it comes to video games, me and Alan tend to keep going without actually saying anything to the chat. But just so you guys know, I am reading every single fucking thing in here. And before we even continue it, too, E-Mike says, kind of had his moments, but the funniest part is at the end. Oh, for that movie, yeah. But chat, let us know what you guys thought when the exclusive works. I'm going to use what you guys say in the chat against him. We're going to do this. Me and you, chat, together. We're our one. Fuck
yeah. I'm used to fighting a bunch of motherfuckers. But the thing is, it's like, so, and you guys understand is that the PS3 essentially had a really bad start because of the pricing. And then crawled its way up. By the time I want to say the last year of the life cycle for both those consoles, you got a bit more where the gap was closer. Because again, the exclusives came out. The Uncharted, The Last of Us, Resistance, like all those exclusives that people give a shit about came out roughly as it was dying, as the console generation was ending. So the gap was bridged. But again, where was Call of Duty for where was Call of Duty for the entire fucking thing? It came out on 360 first. That's why it was such a fucking weird change that it became a PS3 not exclusive, but it got sold on the PS3 stage.
But on that, why do you think they went to PS3? The reason why they went to Sony is because their deal with Xbox. I mean, they're like, okay, yeah, Xbox, they had more money, so they got that deal with us first, and that's cool that we had the exclusivity. But it's not because of them being a better console. And people are getting so mad at 360 because for one, they have the exclusives, and
no, it wasn't that. That's not why Call of Duty moved to Sony. Call of Duty moved to Sony because of how badly Xbox botched the pre-launch, not even the launch of the console. How badly they did the setup of the name was just kind of. What's up?
No, that's what I was about to say. Because like for one, there's many reasons. Like you're right about that reason right there too. I'm right about my reason, and then there's like 4 other reasons that we're not even bringing up. Like, dude, I'm telling you, Xbox 360 has so much bad shit going because of it. And here's the thing, too, like what Julian said in the chat, Sony had the money because they started making so much money towards the end, especially with their multi-different kind of consoles.
No, they didn't. They would have been.
How do you think they essentially to buy them off? How do you think
they pulled a Wii U? They got to understand is they pulled a Wii U. They had a situation where they released this console. They tried to put so much power behind it, but it was so hard to develop games for that it was a money pit for a while, for most of that generation. When they went to the PS4, that's when they fixed all of their mistakes. And the added benefit was Xbox had such a high hubris because of the 360 that they felt they could do no wrong. So they came out and said, "Oh, we have the biggest dicks in the room. You know what? we're not. You guys can't you play used games and online only. That's what people want, right?" And everyone booed them so hard. So Sony, which came out with a console that was very easy to develop games for because they learned their mistake, going, "Hey guys, don't worry, none of that shit's on our system." Everyone starts clapping, even though Sony essentially just did nothing and just rose to the top. So when those pre-orders happened, holy shit did everyone go to Sony because everyone's like, I want to fucking get used games. Like, of course I do. I'm not going to buy every single game new. If I want to give it to my friend, like the fucking pre-launch for those consoles determined the entire life cycle. And then Sony's like, hey, exclusive say this last time. Let's do it again. So they put money into that. That's why the PS4 became the fucking place to be because even though the both consoles were relatively similar when it came to cross-platform, it had a better fucking press outlet very early on. And it had better exclusives. So for Sony, most of Microsoft's exclusives came out the last 2 years. So there's a good 2-year period. There's a good 3 or 4 year period where there's exclusives after exclusive on the PS4 that made it worth buying. So that's why everyone shifted over there. And Call of Duty shifted quick because the install base for PS4 was so high. They realized, well, why are we going to be on Xbox One when PS4 has so many more people? They're going to buy the game. They're going to buy the game. So we're going to give them the stuff there because most of our money is going to come from Sony.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot to
unpack there. Likes Drop Zone.
Say what?
Mike really likes Drop Zone.
I know, yeah. I'm very, very curious to see if Rotten Tomatoes is wrong on that one. Because here's the thing, man. People are bringing up Rotten Tomatoes so many times when it comes to old movies or even like new movies and TV shows especially. But at the same time, it's like they are so like there's like a checklist that I think RT has to make for any kind of review that they do. It's like, oh, does it do this particular thing that makes sure to follow the nuts of this particular audience? And it's like, I think they forget what it's like to just watch a movie for fun. And because of that, I can't ever listen to Rotten Tomatoes ever again. I think that every single thing that they've even put out is just what they're supposed to say versus what it actually is. I mean, I think they're worse than IGN at this point.
I think IGN because IGN literally just gets paid to do 10 out of 10. It's a fucking publicity for them. Rotten Tomatoes, it's because it's a mix of critical and it's a mix of fans. So you have the situation where people are like, I like movie because it just came out. Okay, cool. That means it gets points. They look at that, but okay, what did you rate it? Did you rate it fresh, raw, and whatever? But again, it's one of those situations where people not so much people enjoy the idea of being a critic to the extent where it's like they walk in and they're like, well, I want to analyze this movie much like my favorite critic does. And I think the situation they do, I just want to watch a movie for fun. It's like, I don't necessarily think those two are mutually exclusive, because I go in and again, I fucking love the Fast and Furious movies. I fucking love them. Are they the fucking highbrow, Christopher Nolan? No, they're fucking crazy ass action movies. But I enjoy watching them. But it's always like, you're fucking dumb. I can't believe you watch that dumb shit. It's like, is it really that much dumber than any other summer blockbuster? Oh, they flew cars out of planes and landed on the side of a road. That's so dumb. Is it? They spend a good third of the movie going through the plan and explaining it, but Mission Impossible is suddenly this highbrow of action. Yeah. It's the same thing.
It's really frustrating. I'm going to read some of the chat really quick, too. Julian says, you see the Call of Duty update, the added prop hunt. Yes, I did see that.
I love
and I'll definitely... yeah, no, I like that stuff too. But granted, with Call of Duty, so much shit is in there. I just kind of wish they would just give us more options for the regular modes, because that seems light, and I feel like they're just waiting for us to buy more DLC or something. I don't know what they're gonna be doing, but it is what it is. I'm looking over here though. Bad Boy saying he never bought an Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation all the way. Brightburn saying Xbox 360 DVD add or HD DVD add-on. Anyone, was that a thing? Because I could have sworn it was available in the very beginning of the 360.
I don't remember, honestly. I don't remember any add-on. I remember the fucking hard drives being hilarious. Like they went from like this weird attachment to the side to like this weird like almost hard drive of the computer where you could just kind of eject it in. But that was back before Blu-rays were really a thing. Like Sony always had its Blu-rays, but it wasn't really standard until the next generation, where that's why you had to download all your games, because Blu-rays have a terrible reading speed. So loading screens, you thought loading screens were bad at the start of the PS4. Holy shit. If you didn't install your games, they would have been 3 times as long.
Oh, yeah, they really would. Bad Boy saying, I want to see someone try to make a remake of the Magnavox Odyssey for the modern platform. Ooh. I will say that's kind of a cool idea, especially to do something. Oh, thank you, Moon Metaphysics, for that raid. Really appreciate the raid, dude. I almost said berate. I'm fucking stupid. Thank you for the berate. Keep berating us. Thank you for the bits too, Yasuko fan.
Yeah, because I think ACDVD was supposed to be Xbox's attempt to be like a Blu-ray, but I guess it never really took off because people enjoy Blu-rays more for the size. Because like you said, GTA was on 2 discs for. Actually, I don't remember being on 2 discs for PS. I could be wrong. I thought it was 1 disc, but I know there were plenty of other games. Like Max Payne, for instance, was 3 discs on the fucking 360, whereas it probably was 1 disc on there because again, it was like 25 gigs for. To fit a Blu-ray, where it was only like 8 for a fucking HD DVD. So it's like like that. Oh yeah, thank you for the follow.
The Chill Spot. That's Ganja and Roxy's homie doggy right there. We've actually been talking to Chill for so long. He was on the show once back in 2016. I'm so glad you're still with us, dude. And why take us so long to follow us, Chill? What the fuck? Anyways.
Oh, that's actually just a point. Sub fan actually brings up Blu-rays didn't scratch as easy. Do you remember that? That's actually hasn't been a problem in a while, disc scratching. But you remember when that was a huge problem where it's like, oh shit, your disc is scratched and it's gone?
Yeah, God, dude. By the way, speaking of that thing with the freezer and the 360 Red Arena Death shit, I actually remember there was a rumor, I guess, you can call it that, maybe somebody was fucking with me, but they said you can clean CDs with toothpaste.
I heard about that. I think
that's so not true. Yeah, that's so not true.
I always thought that was bullshit.
But my dumb ass did it though.
You tried it. Of course you did. We all did.
But yeah, dude, Topless Stain, and these are old comments now, guys, but I'm trying to catch up. I like to read everything because every single one of your guys' comments means so fucking much to us. I'm not even just saying that. It really does. Topless Stain says cell architecture was trash. Why is that not a thing that's being talked about more? Because I remember with PS3, the cell chip was like a huge discussion. It was like the teraflop of back then.
Oh god, I hate the word teraflop. I feel like no one knows what those words mean. They just like the people that make the tech know what that shit means, but the average audience doesn't know what the fuck it means. So they just say whatever the fuck they want about it.
Yeah, it's like they're just giving it like names just to be like, hey, like that'll get people talking. It's like the blast processing thing again, except now we're not just saying blast processing
was never real. There was nothing in there that caused it. They just said that word just so they could be above Nintendo.
At least blast processing was at least like a cool little, like, it's pretty obvious they're fucking just being cool about it. But like cell processing sounds like it might be real, and it's like, yo, we got this new cell chip. I'm like, oh, what is it? Don't ask questions. It's really good. That's all you need to know. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what the teraflop? It flops terribly or whatever. No, not terribly. It's great.
Yo,
It's terribly awesome.
just brought back a fucking deep memory. Do you remember Blinks the Time Sweeper?
No,
It was Blinks
I
the
do not.
Time Cat, by the way.
I gotta see this.
Dude, this was a game from back in the day that I couldn't ever play because my brother thought it was stupid. My older brother, because he got me an Xbox. It was Blinks the Time Cat. And it was like you're just this cat and you have to go through like, you're just solving time puzzles and shit like that. And it looked like fun, but I never got a chance to play it because my brother thought it looked so dumb. He looked at it going, what the fuck is this stupid shit? Why are you playing this stupid shit? I never got a chance to play it.
Oh, look at this sad face.
Yeah, that was me. I'm like, what the fuck? I want to play this game.
It
Hey,
looks
by the
cute
way,
as
guys,
fuck, bro.
this has just as many games as Perfect Dark. So where's my Blake's fucking remake with Microsoft? Huh?
Yeah.
It has just as many games as Perfect Dark.
Actually, though, dude, I heard something about this. It's being made alongside Beyond Good and Evil 3 or 2, whatever the fuck you're waiting for.
I'll just get started on that.
You know,
Dude.
the first time I saw a trailer for that was in 2008 during a GT countdown fucking thing or whatever. Like, it was like an E3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Dude, I remember 2 years ago when they fucking showed the teaser for it. I was starting to lose my mind because I'm like, oh my god, it's finally coming back.
Right?
It's gonna be a Monday Cyberpunk because every single time a game that's been into quote unquote development but basically hasn't had a sequel in forever and has been like it was worked on in the past but just got forgotten about becomes the new thing. Because what was it? It was Duke Nukem Forever. What happened after that? Final Fantasy 15. What happened after that? It was Kingdom Hearts. What happened after that? It was Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like, well, Half-Life, I think people just gave up on because I've given up on that. Half-Life 3 is never coming out. The closest thing you ever got was Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah, that's true. Which I still think that counts. People like the fuck out of that game. Corey's calling me. I will come back and read your comment right now, Mike. But you talk with the chat, Alan. Read anything you want to read in there. Be right back.
Fucking Brightburn, you're bringing up a lot of fucking old ass memories. Psychonauts, aren't they? Did Psychonauts 2 ever come out? Chat, let me know if it ever came out. I know they had a Kickstarter, and then Microsoft bought them up or some shit so that they could do another Psychonauts. But that's been in development for a while. Devil's Third, that game is so fucking weird because it was developed. It has a dedicated single player, dedicated multiplayer. But because it's only Wii U, no one fucking played that. Oh, it's next year. Okay, yeah. I remember playing Psychonauts. Psychonauts is such a weird fucking game that's all about like trauma and dealing with like your past stuff and how that can affect your mind and stuff like that. And it was all on the guise of you going to a summer camp. Telekinetic bears and squirrels that can light you on fire. It was the fucking weirdest game I've ever played. We got a new buddy. I don't know what that means, Bat Boy. Bubsy. I never played Bubsy. I've heard about it, but I've never fucking played Bubsy. But Mike, I'll try to answer your question. DS thoughts on an AEW dynamic push back 10 because of the
You
NBA
fucked that
playoff.
all up.
Well, to answer for Nick, I can't believe the stupid basketball shit. Like, who even cares about basketball anymore, man? AEW is where it's at. It's doing cooler shit. Who wants to watch a ball being thrown into a hole? I want to watch people get punched up.
That's a pretty good impersonation of me. I like that. No, Mike saying your thoughts on AEW Dynamite being pushed back to 10 o'clock because of the NBA playoffs. I think that that's kind of a good idea. Here's the thing. And I know that I'm going to be the only person who thinks this, and I'm going to see what you think about this, because this is something, this goes back to the video game talk about, like, why not, don't release things at the same time somebody else is, because I feel like Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing did that terribly. I think that Watch Dogs Legion coming out when it came out was fucking bad. But AEW Dynamite and NXT, so WWE NXT is the competitor of AEW Dynamite, and on Wednesdays they come out and they called us the Wednesday Night Wars, because way back in the day when there was no internet, WWE went against WCW. It was Raw versus Nitro. And people were like, oh my god, like there's 3 million people watching on this station, and then on the other station is like this huge fucking like back and forth between the two programs, and it was the big boom period for wrestling. Now, unfortunately, coming from a wrestling fan, not many people are watching wrestling anymore. It's not cool anymore like it was back in the day. So when you divide your audience on a Wednesday, every single Wednesday night, there's only like 1 million people watching, and you split them up, and I only have 500,000, you're getting terrible ratings. TV stations are not going to want to continue your contract because there's a small amount of people. When Seinfeld is still beating you, and it hasn't been like new episodes for 20 fucking years. Like, yeah, like
it's Seinfeld though.
But still, man, like, and then like keep in mind like Wednesdays. Well, Wednesdays not too much shit coming out, but like let's just say they did have a wrestling show like on a Sunday or something. You gotta consider football. You gotta consider all the movies that are coming out. You have to consider fucking like, I mean, there's a ton of TV shows like that come out like during the week or whatever too, but like there's big day moments, and wrestling can't, like, and NBA playoffs, like it's just basketball, but everyone's like, yo, move wrestling out the way, time to play some real shit, time for some real sports, you know.
Yeah, well, I think it's the whole thing. People knowing that it's like, hey, cool. It's it's all fucking scripted. So people are like, oh yeah, basketball. It's less scripted. You're not really sure who's gonna win any given game, but whatever. It's like it's just basketball just has more fans now. People stuck
Yeah,
with it longer.
which is fine, but I just feel like, man, you should never compete against yourself unless you know for sure that you're having a different audience. If it's the same
Yeah.
audience, you just divided it. It's like, I don't know, it's like sharing a pizza with something. Like, I don't know, it's a hard,
No,
like,
no, you're 100% correct. It's you only the only time you ever compete is when you know that you're not gonna get the entire audience, so you want to get as much as the audience there as possible. But if your entire audience, it's like fucking releasing two Assassin's Creed games in 1 year
yeah.
on different consoles. One's Xbox exclusive, one's a PS, one's a Sony exclusive. It's like there are a lot of Assassin's Creed fans on both systems. But most people are only really gonna buy one of those, so it's like you just would fuck your entire audience up.
Brightburn, or way earlier, said, is a failure of the Wii U bigger than the Virtual Boys? Fuck no, because Wii U actually had games that came out. The Virtual Boy, you can hold the entire library of the Virtual Boy in one fucking hand. I'm not joking. It's like
I don't
10
even remember
games.
the Virtual Boy. I think it was like alive during that time, but I had no access to the information.
Yasuba Fan says, I love the Wii, but Xbox probably won. Versus the Wii, maybe. But then again, like,
Oh no,
that's
no,
such
the
a
Wii
weird
was its
thing.
own game.
Yeah, I agree with you, because the Wii is on a certain level of a success that I don't think anyone even like respects him for, because it seems like such a casual machine. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
it doesn't get as complimented as it could. Like,
It's the thing is because it tapped into an audience that no one knew existed. Because everyone thought, okay, because you remember again, we grew up gamers. You know the whole gamer thing. Oh, gamers, all they do is sit in their parents' basement all day, play video games all in the afternoon. Ha ha ha. That's typical gamer boy. Like you can even see the fucking images of like the fat nerd with the glasses sitting there. That's what they thought every gamer was. So people were like, well, yeah, you play on Xbox, Nintendo, whatever. That's what a gamer was. And Nintendo's like, well, actually, you know that there's a lot of people that just play games on their phone or play games for a couple minutes a day that play games with their family. We know that. We've been making family games forever. What if we just focus on that more so? We're not going to sit there and make the Call of Duties and the Halos and the XComs and the fucking SOCOMs. Yeah, just to make sure y'all remember that shit. Y'all remember SOCOM? But we're going to make something a bit more casual, especially something with a fun peripheral. And eventually people were like, yo, what the fuck is this? Okay, let's play. Let's have fun. We use Wii Sports Resort. This is fucking awesome. Like all that kind of shit. So people flocked to it because it meant it for the average person that didn't really play a lot of video games. This was a cheaper console, and the games were a lot more fun, and it's family friendly. So you buy this, you put it in your living room, all your kids can play. It shuts them up during the holidays, more so than trying to sit there and be like, which God of War sequel should I get my child?
yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. And like, there's so many fucking like people that bought the Xbox One X instead of the Xbox Series X, with the confusion on that too.
Oh, that was a oh, God.
Chris Ayers saying Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, we're jumping around. We're gonna get back to movies now. He's saying Rotten Tomatoes is an aggregator. It assembles all the reviews it can find, parses out whatever they have in common, and then forms a percentage, rating, average, and consensus out of that. Yeah, but then there's also the fact that, like, when I say Rotten Tomatoes is an issue, is because it is, getting collecting all of these fucking like terrible critics and reviews. Like, when I say I don't like Rotten Tomatoes, it means like I don't like critics. Like, if you're an understander of that, then like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's not,
because the situation I always explained it with video games was that I always thought reviews were just kind of pointless because you need to interact with the actual medium in order to really fully enjoy it. That watching something only gets you so much, but when it comes to watching movies, you don't have that input barrier. However, it's still going to you still have a subjective opinion on anything. Like for instance, again, we brought up Fast and the Furious. I know all of y'all in the chat. We're talking shit saying it's the dumbest thing in the world. I can't believe anyone likes it. But then we'll watch a Mission Impossible movie, and I'm like, yeah, it's really not that fucking different. I like both, but in any given time, if you ask me, hey, am I going to watch a Mission Impossible, Fast and Furious? I enjoy Fast and Furious more, and I can point out why. But it's one of those things where if I make a review, I'm going to review it higher. But either that doesn't get accounted because the average is whatever the fucking average is. It's whatever the consensus is of the masses, or it's going to fucking just add into that. So it's like, it's one of those situations where it's like the whole number of it's 65, it's 66 really means nothing. And especially, and I know it means nothing because of the fact that, what was it? Captain Marvel got review bombed. They had to switch the fucking way they did reviews because people were giving it shitty reviews without watching the movie. So it's like that can easily be swayed to public opinion.
Yeah. You might saying, Alan, this is just for you. Actually, why don't you read it, sir?
Oh, the Legacy of Kain one. Okay, so basically, Emacs asking the Legacy of Kain reboot by Square Enix is if it's ever going to happen again. And honestly, it's weird because I think Square Enix is one of the worst publishers out there by a huge margin. I think the only reason they haven't gone bankrupt is because they got lucky. Like a lot of times, I can name about 6 or 7 times in history where they should have gone bankrupt, but it's just sheer luck they managed to pull themselves out of their asses, mostly due to Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
But as far as them doing a Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, Blood Omen reboot, I doubt they'll do a reboot. Most likely what they'll do is they really need to remaster those for modern systems. Because that wasn't a 360 game. That was an original Xbox game. You can't play those anymore. I mean, yeah, if you still have the fucking disc, you could go play on the Series X. That's literally the only way you could play those games nowadays. Or if they were on Sony consoles, I can't remember. But basically, it's been at least 2 generations removed. So I would rather them do some sort of like, here's a Legacy of Kain pack. We're gonna put it on fucking Xbox One, PS4, $20 here, have fun. And then maybe if it works out, Maybe if it works out, they could fucking do a sequel. But that series has been dead for a while, and it's not like Resident Evil where it's like they're always doing Resident Evil, so they can do a remake of past ones. Nobody really cares about Legacy of Kain.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, they don't, but I remember back in the day, like, especially, like, either from 1999 to, like, 2002, something like that, there was lots of commercials about that kind of stuff, especially Soul Reaver, and I thought it was cool, and it was, like, a big thing back then, but I feel like so many things have come out since then that's almost like, why remake this, or pay for the licensing of this when we already have so many things that are just like it, that actually have a new IP that can actually, like, I don't know, get more people.
Yeah.
I just, like, for me, like, even with Resident Evil, I feel like, man, imagine if those guys who did Resident Evil 2 and 3 just made their own zombie game, but made it feel like Resident Evil. This would have been a whole new franchise. Now, you're already going to get people into the exhaustion mode after Outbreak comes out, after Resident Evil 8 comes out. It's like, why not just, like, spin it off, but spin it off with a completely different name so you build a new, like, series, you know? Like,
I mean, Resident Evil is a name that'll get people in because people picked up RE2 not because they enjoyed RE2 the original, but because it says Resident Evil in the front of it. And the thing is every Resident Evil game, much like a lot of other franchises, is how good was the last entry. Resident Evil 7 didn't do that well financially. It did well, but it didn't do as well as they wanted because of how much people didn't like RE6. However, Remake did a lot better than expected because people liked RE7. But I like the different perspectives because you have a situation where they're essentially going back and remaking and fixing the timeline. Because Resident Evil has a fucking dumbass timeline. Shit just gets made up halfway through. Events are happening at the same time that just contradict each other. It's a fucking mess. But with the whole remake, because they're gonna do RE4 next. It literally, if you played Resident Evil 3, at one point when you blow one of the zombies' heads off, he has the weird spinning fucking slicing thing. That's literally a villain in RE4. They're going to do RE4 next. Mark my fucking words. I'm going to buy it day one. I don't give a shit. But I'm also getting RE8 because I love RE7. RE4 and then RE7 is my favorite Resident Evil games.
Yeah, but really quick though, guys, I'm actually going to get into a review really quick. I just want to do at least one of the things I have on the thumbnail because I do got to get going. So we might wait a little bit for Hunter x Hunter. Is that cool, man?
Yeah, that's no problem. And plus, I can finish up season 2.
Yeah, because I know you're at the Ren part and all this stuff too. It's like, man, it's going to be a good discussion. That show continually gets better and better and better. I don't know if you noticed that already.
Yeah, it's so weird. I'll tell you a little bit just before you head out. It's so weird that the stakes, I know the stakes get higher as it goes on, but the stakes are so low right now, I'm kind of chuckling. Where it's like, you watch Naruto, it's like, Sasuke's entire arc is, my entire clan got murdered by my brother, so I need to get stronger to kill him. What's Gon's motivation? This guy punched me in the face once.
Yeah, exactly. But I love that though because like it gives you. We're already at season 2 and we're.
It's a realistic stake.
Yeah, exactly. And then the fact that when shit does get crazy, it's like there's so much room for it to get crazier and crazier because right now we've gotten so much out of so little. Very, very good storytelling from the guys who do Hunter x Hunter. But looking at this, have you ever heard of this show on Showtime called? It was a limited series, by the way. It's a 10-episode limited series called Your Honor with Bryan Cranston.
I feel like I heard about it, like a random, I don't know what the word is. I thought a random clip here and there, but I never really looked into it.
Yeah, man. So basically, it stars Bryan Cranston. I don't know the rest of the stars. I don't know their names. But basically, Bryan Cranston plays a judge. And he's a pretty good judge. I mean, it starts off him, defending a black family from police brutality, things like that. So it's like, oh, we already know this guy has a good heart. And he's a strong judge because he's able to kind of like win over against the police. So it's pretty cool. But then you get into a situation where his son, starts off fucking his teacher in the beginning of the show.
Oh, no.
Has an asthma problem. But he keeps doing something that gets him all stressed out and anxious filled. So you're almost like, oh man, he has a fuck up son to an extent. But then at the same time, it's like the son just trying to live his life. And one of those things too that I don't like this about.
I wouldn't say fucking his teacher's just trying to him live his life, but continue.
Well, yeah, but I mean, here's the thing: she's gorgeous, so I get it. But like another thing too.
No.
But another thing too, though, that I don't like about this is like they're doing that thing because like there's reasons why we're supposed to care about the son, at least trying to get some kind of escape. They did this with that other that one show I just thought about recently called Alice in Borderlands, where they keep bringing up the main character like his mom died, and here same thing, his mom died. And it's like, okay, so he gets to do whatever the fuck he wants because his mom died, and we gotta hope that he gets over his mom dying. And it's whatever. Like, I've been through shit myself, blah, 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 but I don't think you should ever let that be your personality. That was the only thing I didn't like about the movie King of Staten Island with Bill Burr and Pete Davidson, where the whole movie is just like, his dad died, his dad died, his dad died. It's like, I get it, dude. Like, why is that your whole character? So, over here, the son kind of has that, but luckily we're also dealing with Bryan Cranston, so there's, a bunch of other things. Here's the thing, though. The son, while he's freaking out over his asthma, he accidentally runs over doing a motorcycle and kills him. And it's a brutal, brutal, brutal accident, man. I mean, the dude's leg is completely fucked up. His head slammed against the sidewalk, brains and blood everywhere. It's fucked up, But with that happening, though, Bryan Cranston's in a situation where he's like, he's a judge. Everyone loves him. He's a good guy. But the son who was killed is unfortunately, he's a Baxter, as you guys saw right there. His dad is actually a huge crime boss. So now Bryan Cranston, even though he was willing to let his kid, go to jail and pay for his sins, basically, he's like, fuck, if something happens and they find out who did this, we're all dead. And everyone who knows this is dead. So now I had to do whatever I can to defend him, even if I got to fuck over other people in order to defend my son. And I'm telling you, the amount of people that get fucked over because of this kid is holy shit. And it's all done because of the power of a good person. And this shows you that being a good person and being an incredible judge and having all that political power is still dangerous. He's more dangerous as a judge than anybody is with a gun. And I gotta tell you, dude, they talk about, how black communities are affected. There's a black kid in here who is used as a pawn throughout this entire thing of just defending the guy's son. And I almost get where Bryan Cranston's coming from. But there's people being, there's more police brutality down here. There's parts where, obviously Bryan Cranston's fucking up. His son, by the way, is going through so much trauma from actually killing a person that he's making mistake after mistake. And you can just read, PTSD in someone's eyes. You can just read it.
Exactly, yeah.
So I gotta tell you, dude, this show has you like at the edge of your seat the entire time. The only thing I don't like is that it's fucking long. Every episode, dude, is basically an hour long.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. That's typical for a miniseries, especially if they just have one consistent story. But like, I think that's I'll point out. I think that's a you problem because you kind of bring that up. It's like, oh, it's too long. But like, people, it's an hour, whatever. That's not a big deal.
True, but like, and we're gonna go to now. We yet to see Bryan Cranston get so stressed out with things, he needs to go get some breakfast. So he goes to the diner. And he's like, I need some pancakes. You got any orange?
Yeah, they got a yeah, that's fine. I don't mind patting. Oh yeah, you hate eating, right? Yeah, this motherfucker gets mad if you eat in a movie.
Yeah, because if it's just done like just to pad time, it's like, bro, please, let's not do that. Like in Daredevil, there was parts where, and the motherfucker, I mean, how interesting is his home life? He's blind or not.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. But fuck you, you don't know what you're talking about.
He could see.
He can't see.
It showed him seeing.
It didn't show him seeing. It showed him fucking what was it? Infrared and shit like that. He still can't see details.
Then
and
he can
shit.
see. He see better than I can if it's infrared.
No,
I wish I was
can't.
blind. Give me blindness so I can see infrared, so I can walk around at night.
That's not how that works.
Then tell the show that, because that's not how it fucking works. I agree with you.
Oh my god, you're so fucking ridiculous. I hate you.
Oh, by the way, what blind person
God,
only fucks the hottest chicks in the world? What blind person fucks nothing but the hottest chicks in the world?
A shallow motherfucker.
Dude, how can you be shallow? You can't tell if someone's good looking or not when you're blind.
Yes,
he's faking
shallow.
It. Dude, I can't wait till that comic that comes out. It's gonna be like issue 1000, whatever the fuck, and like it's gonna be Daredevil who's never blind, and then his friend's like, man,
that would be stupid. That makes no sense to the character at all.
Well, but dude, for one, the way he feels shit, like how that one ninja dude was like, hey, like you can just smell when someone's about to whoop your ass.
Yeah, because his senses are dialed to 11, which means everything.
So
that
he's
normally
more able-bodied than me.
He's not more able-bodied because you can walk down the street and not have to worry about getting hit by a car if it goes too fucking fast.
Okay, the whole idea of when someone's blind is it's a handicap. He's not handicapped. He is candy capable.
Not. Oh my fucking god. He has superpowers that allow him to have better senses, and he trained those senses to be able to almost react normal. He had to train to be normal. That's how crazy his senses are. He has to train to be a normal person. Well, you are a normal person.
That shit's
stupid. Are as powerful as he is.
It's dumb. It's stupid.
You're dumb.
Yes, that too. That's why I know.
Fuck.
But
you know like having this guy as a friend. You have to argue the fucking basics of comic book stuff, where it's like, yeah, that stuff makes sense. No. You have to go into the details. It has to be me. Nick always has to assume he's every superhero. Well, I'm surprised you like Batman. You're like, well, I can't get into a suit like that. How can Batman get into a suit like that? I can't.
I'm gonna get into that. Explain to me why Bane breaks his back, and all it takes is a little bit of time of just thinking about the situation. Oh,
because people break their backs all the time.
Dude, from that height, picking him up over your head and going, and
yeah, people break their backs all the fucking time. And they said in the movie that he dislocated a vertebra, and that they popped it back in, and he spent months. It was almost a year he was out, and that was because he didn't go to a hospital. This man, like, people break their backs all the time. You're confusing breaking their back versus breaking their spine. You break your spine, you're paralyzed, but your back is also a series of muscles and bones as well.
I'm just saying, though, like, in canon, he's doing all that shit. He's falling off buildings. He's getting hit by cars. He's getting his ass hit.
Yeah, and that was a vulnerable moment for the character, where this is the first time where somebody literally beat the Dark Knight with hand-to-hand combat. He usually bests everyone in hand-to-hand combat. It's usually like, we got to figure out how to, like, trick him. That's what most of the villains do. We got to do this big, grandiose plan to trick the Dark Knight because he's only one man. This is the first time where a literal villain came out and said, by the way, I'm fucking with you. I'm going to release all your villains. I'm going to stress you the fuck out. I'm going to have this whole city under your grasp. And just when you think you solve your problem, I'm going to fucking break you in half.
Okay, so I'm going to say something that might be rude for a second. Because you might be saying, did you guys... he's saying, did you guys see the Spotify roast spot? No, I did not. But that was Mercy.
Man, fuck that shit. That shit is bullshit. I am not basic.
You're pretty basic, bro. I'm sorry to tell you that.
Fuck you.
But no,
fuck you.
E-Mike says... Diaz, are you saying that Ray Charles wasn't blind when he dated all those women? Yeah, let me show you something really quick. This right here is proof that he was definitely blind because that bitch be ugly. All right?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
First of all, like, that's an old photo. I was thinking that's what, the 60s, 50s, like, it's around that time. That was the standard for beauty at the time.
No, there were some beautiful girls back then. I've seen some. I've
and I'm sure he probably would want to fuck them too.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is, like, he's blind, so he doesn't know. He's just like, oh, she smells nice.
You can tell a lot from just the voice, and I'm sure, like, again, this is also the 50s, so I'm sure they didn't have a fucking sexual harassment rule, so he probably was like, let me put my hand on your shoulder. Oh, you have beautiful skin. Like, you can tell a lot of that stuff, man.
I don't know. Daredevil seems to pick, like, nothing but models. I'm calling bullshit.
Again, infrared and heat, you can see that off the body, so he's probably like, oh, that girl has a fat ass.
Okay, but when people say, for one, no, that's not the way that works, and two, like, the heat
I'm pretty sure you can see the heat off of a girl's ass and be like, hey, that girl's a fat ass.
It could be a fart too. Attractive. You think he'll get, like, he'll end up getting turned off when he's, like, seeing her walk down the street and you see all that gas come out of her ass. He's like, oh, she just farted. She's trying to be cute.
No, he sees that all the time. People are on fire. That's why he's so fucking, like, this world is weird as fuck. Like, this situation, like, I don't understand why you're arguing this.
Because you're saying that seeing an infrared is blind. That's disrespectful to blind people.
It is. It's because that wasn't how he started seeing. It was all random noise until he started training his various senses. And what that is a sense of touch, like how you could tell how hot it is in the room. He's just able to kind of see the heat off of objects and shit.
But dude,
if he's in a noisy room or it's really hot,
you're explaining it like I don't understand it. I understand it, but what I'm trying to make you understand is I know all that context. He has great senses. I've even admitted that his senses are fucking awesome. So good, but blind people don't see infrared.
Okay, he's not seeing through his eyes. He's not.
Holy shit!
You know what? I'll explain this in a way you understand. Remember the Sound of Metal? Do you remember the Sound of Metal? You stupid motherfucker. Do you remember the Sound of?
He's not seeing through his eyes.
He's not. You could rip his eyes out.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, this is for you. Okay? You remember the Sound of Metal when he gets that fucking hearing aid?
Yeah.
And what it is picking your ears, he doesn't need his ears anymore. He just needs that metal thing on his head because that's what transmits to his brain. So he actually doesn't need his earlobes anymore. He barely needs his ear canals because the sound gets transmitted to the fucking device and it gets transmitted to his brain. So with Daredevil, what it is that the world around him gets translated to his brain. So he doesn't need his eyes. You could rip Daredevil's eyes out and it would not affect him in any way, shape, or form. But keep laughing.
You're beautiful, man. Your mind, like, you know, that movie A Beautiful Mind. That's just the Ellen story. Like, you have a beautiful mind, bro.
Oh, we didn't start a fight. We fight all the goddamn time.
Yeah, we start.
You guys were around back in the day. We would go for like half an hour straight.
And by the way, you might what he's referring to was still about this topic years ago.
Exactly. I'm so mad at him right now. Remember this stupid bullshit. Oh, thank you, Chris. Thank you. He's like, yeah, it would hurt like hell, but other than that, Alan is right.
Chris is stupid.
You're like, Chris is the smartest person in the world, but as soon as he sides with me, hey, is fucking Riva N7 on right now? Why don't you fucking ask him?
There's no such thing as Riva. What are you talking about? It's Revan.
Oh, you fucking man, we have it.
You're so dumb.
We literally record the show.
That
We can just go back.
No sense.
Don't clip it. Where's fucking Kirk when you need him?
I'm just saying, it's Revan N7. Like, you know, you just gotta pay attention, Alan.
Revan N7. You actually got it right, even though you literally asked him on a stream. We could just go get the stream, dude.
Yeah, or I can delete it. Like, I mean, you know,
his whole stream, because what did you did it in the chat like the first 2 minutes of his stream yesterday.
Chat, honestly, guys, if you go back and watch that, you guys are not gonna like. There's nothing there. It's literally Alan being a dummy.
Literally stopped the show to say that there's a character in Mass Effect called Riva, and me and Jet were like, "The fuck?"
I was saying Revan. I was saying Revan.
You're not.
You
we
said
literally
Revan.
have this recorded.
You're saying Reva. I can't believe it. You're stupid. But the thing is, though, this lady, you know, she's ugly. I'm sorry, but she is. But
that's just one woman. Like, from what people were saying in the chat, he did a lot of, like, you know, he always would deal with a lot of women. But it's like, yeah, you can tell a lot. Like, for instance, like, again, this is very chauvinistic. But again, when you're going after the quote unquote only hottest chicks, you go for a lot of chauvinistic stuff. It's like, well, he could probably smell the perfume. He could probably tell what kind of moisturizer she uses, what kind of hair she has. So it's like she takes care of herself type stuff. Like, this is very chauvinistic stuff. But it's like, it's not impossible to assume that someone that takes care of themselves very, very well probably also looks attractive. Also, did you just turn the lights off me?
No, someone just trying to come in here, but it won't let me let them in. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Who just came in? Is it Jet?
I thought so, but here's the thing: we gotta get out of here because I gotta pee really fucking bad. So with that said, you tell people where to find you and all that good stuff.
Alrighty then. So if you're curious to hear more about me ramblings and actually getting mad at real life stuff, go to the Metropolis Collective. So if you don't know how to get there, follow me on Facebook. I post stuff from there all the time, so you can easily backtrack a link to there. But leave a like so you can see when the videos are. Currently, we are on hiatus, but there's still a backlog of videos over the last year and a half, depending on which show you want to follow. Because right now I'm part of the Illuminati, but you also have Content Corner that's still going live. They always do their own thing. So as far as hiatus, they're probably not going to be on one. So if you're into Content Corner, be sure to check that out. You have ARPG, so they focus more on the politics and gaming. I'm sure they have a backlog of crazy shit they got to talk about, especially with Cyberpunk coming out. The Nunes podcast is taking a break, same thing with the sports pod. But yeah, be sure to check out all that shit.
Is the whole fucking thing taking a break?
Yeah, it's about the holidays, so people want to be with their families and shit. So we're not gonna sit there recording episodes every week, you know.
I can get you. But with that said, guys, we're getting the fuck out of here. So you'll hear music in a minute, and there it is. All right, goodbye. That's all I gotta say. I gotta go fucking pee. You go watch Double Toast, so you enjoy that. We out. Goodbye. Stay toasty.
I hate it, man.